So, the update nobody asked for. What's going on with the Alfa? Well, first of all, as you'll see in the description, this is an Alfa Romeo 2600 Berlina. This is 1962. There was a video put up a couple of days ago about it arriving, where me and Vaughan had an initial look. And I've kind of been mucking around with it since. And what I've found is that it's not as bad as I first thought when it arrived. As you can see, the floors look pretty nasty, but to be honest, this is all solid metal on both sides and the back, so that's good. We have solid metal in the trunk. Everything's been allowed to dry out properly now, so there's surface rust everywhere, but there's no holes. We figured this fake vinyl roof is something somebody added probably in the 70s or something like that. There seems to be a different color underneath here. I'm not sure if that was painted light blue in the roof originally. They're going to send off the chassis number to the Alfa Romeo Heritage Association, and hopefully they will give us, a little bit more information about the car when it was manufactured. And well, we know it's an early 1962 car, but the exact date when it was delivered and what color it would have had, we strongly believe it's the blue because it's simply just so far down in the engine bay, but we might find out if it actually had a light blue top. We were kind of picking on the rust last time, so it's this 70s kind of repair on the fender here, and the double bondo build up on the fender going over. So and also there's a bit of rust on the door here, bottom of all the doors really, and more bondo on the doors. But if we look inside the fender itself, it's actually really good. So it looks like somebody might have had a little rust repair here before, but overall, structurally it's mostly there and holding together, so that's good. The main idea now is to figure out how to proceed. We mentioned last time we do have access to an engine and gearbox, so I'm probably going to go ahead and get that, add it to the car. The person who's got the car is not keen, so I've gotten an offer for it, pretty much what he paid for it, and now it's in my garage. I feel a little bit put on the spot, but we'll see. I'm still hoping for a certain person to take on this project and give it the treatment it deserves. But if I have to be forced to take it, there's a good chance I'll rebuild the engine, drop the gearbox in, do the brakes, well, sand all this surface stuff down on the floors in the back, lift this plate up, see what's underneath. There's a little couple of holes on the other side there. Patch that up, make sure it's all solid, braking well, and do new suspension and all that stuff, and leave the body just the way it is, I think, and make it into kind of a patina racer. As not for racing, but just a banger to drive around. If somebody has the correct emblem for the center here, I would be very happy for someone to, if you have a worn out one that would go together with the rest of the car, as you've restored your car and you don't need your worn out one, I'd be very happy to buy that, preferably very cheap. So yeah, that's what it looks like so far. Rear bumper, not too bad, just a surface rust. Don't know, all the pictures I've seen, these are one piece, but this obviously is a two piece. I don't know if that's factory or not, on the 62. I've seen later ones that's one piece, but it works, I guess. Important thing is the glass is really good in the car. Happy about that. There's some hard to find bits, I'm sure. Where would you find another windscreen? This one doesn't even have, this windscreen is really good. It doesn't even have the scratches from window wipers, which they usually have. If we have a look, this is the clutch cylinder. I guess that's just hanging down there, hanging out. Temporarily, you can see the radiator goes in there nicely, and the fan's all ready to get an engine now. And even got the air filter, preserve some space. But if you look at the actual fluid in there, that's good enough to drink. Well, if you're into drinking brake hydraulic fluid, but you know. So, and it's a Girling brake system on this, which is good, because I'm in England. There's people that rebuild these brake boosters and do exchange. So I could send in the manky one I have and get a rebuilt exchange one. So the brake system in this car should technically not be too difficult. We've got 2 big disc brakes. Let's go underneath it. Here we are underneath. All preserved with lots of grease, which is good. And you see there's a couple of massive discs on each side. So that's good. You can see the condition of everything underneath. You can see it on the underside of the air filter. But you know, it's just got all of that surface rust and whatnot, but it's really not that bad. So kind of just do one side at a time, redo the brake calipers, take all the rods off, clean them up, paint them, you know. I see the valence on the front. It's got a lovely piece of filler here. As we know, on the inside it's just dented, it's not rusted, so we can just dent it back, I guess. But very much leaning for a mechanical restoration and cosmetic preservation of what's there. So we've got great thread on the tires. Today's classic tire. Popular over at Coldmore Motors. I bet he hasn't had one of these before. Is a XAS radial 65-400. There doesn't seem to be any brand name on this one, but actually not the worst condition compared to other tyres I've seen. We'll look at the other tyres later, but there you go. So yeah, I can take all these bits and bobs apart, shine them up, put new grease in there, paint, get surface rust off, paint it, do all that stuff. A bit of a work, but I think it could be a really fun car to drive around in. I think this would handle pretty well and drive pretty well. Gonna move around a bit. So, looking more at the underside, this is behind the sill. As you can see, there's a bit of surface rust and whatnot, but it's not rotten. And there's the floor, which is good to have. You can see the drivetrain pretty much intact, so that's really good as well. I guess that's our fuel pump under there. A bit closer. See that middle joint's actually it's got a grease nipple on it. Very fancy, very nice. From what I've understood, this is pretty much similar to the 1900s from the generation before, based on the 2000. But well, it's got an exhaust in there, but it's pretty yeah, I don't know, parts of it could be useful, I'm sure. This connection down there is not good, so that would definitely blow, but not our problem at the moment. But yeah, no, it's really good under here actually. Very happy about that. Definitely needs a bit of cleaning up and
painting again, but we'll get it up on the lift and do that during the winter, I think. That'd be great. Here we are looking at the back, the fuel tank. Fuel tank looks actually really tidy, all things considering. There's the other underside of the wheel well. Again, really nice and tidy. The surface rust needs tidying up. We have, there we can empty any fuel if there was any in there. Probably could do with being dropped and cleaned up anyway. This is where the battery tray is, and it has a disc that kind of covers it. But yeah, we got a bit of mud and whatnot, but overall pretty good actually. Look at the cooling fins on the rear brakes here. I'm looking forward to getting this off to have a closer look. So there's no discs here, we will have drums in the back. But some serious cooling fins on those. And rear axle, which is good to have. Poor exhaust, but if we look up around here, the connection points for the for the suspension and the rear axle and stuff all looks very solid and good, which bodes very good for this project, because that means we can make a safe drivable car. I wouldn't want to do that with something that's about to fall apart in the middle. Alright, I'm going to creep out from under here again. The Alfa Romeo model name on the back. Not a lot of, they're not advertising the name of this car everywhere, is it? It's pretty much, that's your logo there, and then you have your logo, just a logo in the wheel hubs, or the hubcaps, and there would have been a logo on the front, and that's about it. Some cars, they state what they are all over the place, but this car is a little bit more down tone. Well, that's pretty much a bit more of a thorough walkthrough. I do need door handles. Everybody has door handles. I might have some coming up, but if somebody's got any, let me know. We do have a little bit of rust here in the top floor. I think somebody's put, yeah. Can really see that from the other side, but a lot of the time these floors, they rust out from the inside and down and not from the outside and in. But this is the worst of the floors, as you can see. But we might just cut this entire section out and remake it and put another one in. And then the driver's side is actually pretty good, surprisingly. We have a Blaupunkt radio. I don't know if that's original with the car, but could be. And yeah, I'm still very keen to get the kind of the leather wrap off the steering wheel to see how it is, but I'm going to leave it for now. We've got a blank off plate where it would have been the column shift. You get them in column shift as well, and this one has everything in place. Yeah, look at that. I don't know which, I guess I would suspect this is factory. It looks very factory to me, and it would have the right kind of bits to it, so that's good. Very cool to have a stick shift and these two seats. If this is customized or not correct, I simply wouldn't know, but I think this is correct. I think the first kind of custom job we're going to do, not custom job, but the first thing we're going to do in this car is get rid of the headliner, because it's fairly smelly and it's letting down the experience of being in the car, I would say. It's this kind of just fallen apart. It's mohair, so it's a wool fabric, and with the damp and everything else, it's just nothing to save here. You can see the it's just been nibbled by things that like to eat organic stuff. You can see the corner down here. I don't know if there's been mice in it, but
the car doesn't smell too bad. The seats don't smell too bad, and I got the carpets out, so that helped. Now if I get the headliner down, and we just gotta tidy that up. I think I'm just gonna rip this out. I was kind of thinking if I could cut it down for pattern, but it's just falling apart as I touch it. So yeah, first job, get the headlining down, and it will be somewhat bearable to be in here, which is good. Did a little bit of a clean up down in the corner here. You can see the paint will come. I think actually I'll clean, be a nice job as well, just cleaning all this stuff out. We have these hood dampers. I was a bit unsure what they were, but definitely hood dampers, and they definitely have a lot of life left in them, so that's good. We have this little we even have a bag for the window cleaning fluid, so that's kind of cool. That's still in there. Yeah, that's just kind of me rambling on about what's going on the 2600 Berlina. Don't know if you remember, but the floor mats were really gnarly, especially the back ones, like this one here. I haven't quite gotten all the rust stains out, but I did give them an attempt to wash them today. They kind of just been put out here to dry, and the plan being, if they do come out okay and they don't smell, still be nice to have something on the floor. If we get this to be kind of a patina driver, it's still nice to have something to put your feet on and not just a metal. One thing I'm quite happy about is the trunk mat. I basically got a light clean today. I'm going to do a bit more cleaning, get the rust stains out, but this is great to have this with the logo in the middle, and the rubber and everything is still really nice and soft, so this has got plenty of life left in it, which is a bonus. So headliner wise, we're just going to get this down, because I really don't want this smell in here anymore. And when we get further, we'll probably get the windows out and we'll replace the headliner proper. But right now, this just has to come out. And if I take it out in one piece, I might be able to roll it together and use it as a template. Here you can see the headliner coming out, pretty much. Now there's a 6 in there, but yeah. Apologies for the awkward filming, but this is not the easiest thing to do with one hand. I'd rather do this standing outside the car, to be honest, and I'll vacuum it afterwards. You can see the insulation, very nice, back in the day. Definitely want a mask before I start touching any of that stuff. For some reason I figured it would be a good idea to get a mask on while doing this. And yeah, I kind of suspected it. But in the corner here we have a mouse nest. So, a good cleaning session later. We have we've got the headliner and the sound deadening out. That's the old-fashioned, very itchy rock wool kind of stuff. You can see the particles in there, not great, but it's all settled. But at least we got all that stuff out. And you know, I'm not going to sniff too much in here, but I can already tell it's smelling a heck of a lot better. I think most of that foul smell was actually in the roof, not the seats, which is a good thing, and also pulled out a bit more of the sound deadening from under here. So kind of my first goal is to make sure that the Alfa does not smell of dead mice, and so far we've done pretty well. Not the most exciting video, but that's a little update of just tidying it up a bit. Here we have the center console with the carpet and everything. I'm going to preserve that for now. We have the hood that's still sat over here. It's going to be lifted in place when I get help. We have the, I'm going to get a bag for the deadening, but we actually have the headlining still good for a template. Stinky old thing. And yeah, no, hopefully one day we'll get a driving 2600. Fingers crossed. Till next time, hope you have a good one.